Hey everybody, Hyler Tamberlane back with more of my weekly painting progress. And probably this is going to be the last one for a little bit because I am going to be on the plane to Japan. And obviously I'm not going to drag all of my hobby projects or paints along with me. That would just be too much. So, I tried to get as much done this week as I possibly could. And the name of the game was good enough. A lot of these paint jobs, I know I could do better, and I might actually go back and touch up a few of them, but for now, they're just going to have to suffice. So first up is a Wizkid's Deep Cuts Monk. We just don't get enough monks, and I just went with a very basic paint job. I might go back and actually finish up his base and do some more work with his mask there. It doesn't seem to be actually attached to his face anywhere, but, you know, he's done. Good enough. As I said, that's the name of the game this week. Next up, we have, what's this dude called? The Bloodmaster? I got him ready about the same time as a big pile of Bloodletters and Skulltaker, and he just got kind of sidetracked, so I figured this week, time to finish him up. He came out all right. And I got most of the details in there. Noticeably finished. He's definitely in need of a lot of highlights. But highlights are something we can do at a later date. We got the bulk of the work done. I would say he is tabletop ready. And if you disagree, I don't care. Because I'm done. I'm moving on. All right, what else we got this week? The crazy old Coot from Malifaux. This guy was very hard for me to finish. He was very hard to actually discern what I was looking at. And after looking at him in the sunlight rather than under artificial light, in the middle of the night with a tiny light bulb where I'm usually painting, I'm not super pleased with the results. But again, good enough. And I don't know what the hell I was doing here with the black. It kind of splashed, and I probably should clean that up. But you know what? For now, he looks pretty decent on the tabletop. From a distance, he'll be fine. I do like all his junk that he's carrying with him. All right, what else we got? Okay, random 15mm Coruscant figure. It's some kind of earth power armor. So there's supposed to be a human in it, and it scales pretty well. So if you wanted to use some kind of 15mm skirmish system, you could probably get away with using them with all sorts of other mechs. Good size model. Put them on a decent sized base, and I think he'd be good to go. Speaking of 15mm, I also picked up 2 of the random Battle Valor Scalians, is what they call their lizardmen, and got them painted up. So they can go menace the power armor guy. They actually painted up pretty decently, and I screwed up their nails and didn't realize at the time because I was half asleep, and I don't know if it can really show up that well, but I ended up using a blue on their nails rather than a black. But you know what? Maybe they would paint their nails. Maybe they'd have kind of ritualistic colors all over there themselves. I think at 15mm, these guys make some great little swamp kobold skirmisher troglodyte type enemies, so you know, kind of works out well. Along with them, since we were in a bit of a lizardman mood, I painted up this Saurus Old Blood that I found in the consignment case at the local hobby shop. You'll notice he's missing his little fancy serpent thing that's supposed to go on the back of his head there. You know, I figured I did all right. He's adequately painted. I'm not happy with how his claws turned out. And his underbelly is quite sloppy and in need of some serious touch-ups, but you know what? Good enough. From a distance, he looks fine. These guys actually kind of go well with him. His entourage. Use him as some kind of a big hero model in a 15mm skirmish, maybe. All right, what else we got? All right. A random Death Dancer from Raging Heroes. I painted her mostly just screwing around with washes and stuff, and I'm not super happy, but it works. And she actually was painted alongside a bunch of the Creature Caster Matriarch of Ecstasy models, so they all kind of go together well. I don't like her tongue thing. It doesn't actually connect to her mouth despite all of my attempts to get it lined up. It just did not want to connect. Maybe it isn't a tongue. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. There's an awful lot of flash on her fingers that I just didn't want to even mess with it. I think, again, good enough from a distance. she'll be fine and she'll fit in well. You can't see all the little spots that I missed and all the fun stuff like that. But you know what? Good enough. She's painted. There we go. And what else? We've got quite a few other models here. So, this is one of the models from the Dante's Angel box for Eden. I don't know her name off the top of my head. I'd have to go look. But I got her eyes painted, so that's a plus. I did a sloppy job on her stockings there, but good enough. I tried to at least put some effort into it. She looks decent, and she looks like she'll scale in well with everybody else. Eden figures do tend to be a little bit taller, so like comparing her to, well, keep in mind this guy's on a bigger base. He's still shorter than her. Speaking of short, probably one of my favorite models this week that I built, one of Durgin Paint Forge's dwarf models that they had from their first Kickstarter campaign. And why he's hanging out with a bunch of parakeets, I have no idea, but it just seemed like they would be easier to paint. Again, kind of frustrated. There's a lot of little spots that I missed. I didn't do as nice of a job as I would have liked to on his cloak. And for going with an Akuma style Goki look to him, I think I probably should have gone with a little bit darker hair choice. More red. But you know, it'll work because it's, you guessed it, good enough. I should totally paint the Akuma kanji on his back though, underneath his cloak. Yeah, cool little door. I gotta say, he's not actually that little. He's pretty big, and his proportions, like I've mentioned in other videos when I was doing some unboxings of these Durgin Paint Forge guys, they're a lot more confrontation-style dwarves, where they're a lot of head, a lot of arms, tiny legs. Non-existent legs and big feet, I guess. So he's kind of a big guy. And what would a Akuma character be without his rivals? So, we have two Street Fighter style monks. I do like their little extra bits to kind of fantasy them up a bit. The Ryu looking model here actually did have a fireball that was supposed to go in his hands, but it looks silly, so I just tossed it. It looks better when he's about to Kamehameha anyway. Or as my kids say, Hadouken. He's going to Hadouken. And then Ken obviously has to have the flames, because we all know that if you use the strong attack with his Shoryuken, it's going to come out with the fire, so we had to paint it with fire. They both painted up pretty quick and easy. I mean, obviously there's not a whole lot going on there, but I'm probably going to go back and touch it up still, because I feel like it needs some highlights. I was always more of a new player anyways, so sorry, Ken. I don't know how many different shades of white, off-white, light gray, bluish gray colors his gi is made out of at this point. It just looks like a generic boring white, but there's a lot that I put into it and you can't even see it, which is what makes me so sad. Alright, we'll just slide them out of the way a bit. And then finally, we have the Wargames exclusive Battle Sisters, or Emperor Sisters, I believe they're called. And the funny thing is, one of these girls was painted before the rest of the squad. And I'll be honest, I don't really know which one. I'm pretty sure it's one of these ones that has a white loincloth in the front. I think it's one of these two ladies. And to tell you the truth, I'm not 100% sure which it is. I'm leaning towards this one in my right hand here, just because I think her eyes are a little bit brighter than this one. And I guess a little bit cleaner paint job. But you know what? They're good enough. And definitely from a distance, I think they will get the job done. One of these days, I'm definitely going to have to track down some actual GW sisters just to have a model for comparison. I did try to at least paint some eyes on this model since she's not bothering to wear a helmet. And I find it odd that sisters start without helmets and earn them as they progress through the ranks. So we'll be seeing these models again soon. I have a bunch of Raging Heroes sister-style models. I'm just going to go on a sister jamboree one of these days before I head off to Japan. So, I'm going to subtract one because one of them was already painted. So there's 4 models. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm counting 15 millimeter, guys. That's a whole one. 12, 14, about 16 models. Not a bad haul for this week. Now, admittedly, some of them were started earlier on, but you know what? That's all right. They got to get done sooner or later. Probably my favorite of the week is the dwarf mug. He's got a lot of personality. And I got to say, I really like their models, these Durgin Paint Forge ones. I'm looking forward to getting home to paint them. So hopefully I won't have too much to distract me paint-wise while I'm in Japan. Speaking of Japan, keep an eye on my channel. I shall hopefully be posting stuff and hobby-related stuff while we're there. So should be interesting. My kids are nagging me to do some slice of life stuff while we're out there because our family tends to be what you would consider a very rural countryside area. So, that said, this is High Lord Tamberlane, my weekly painting progress. If I can get it all done, so can you, especially with graduations, open houses, performances, recitals, concerts, all that jazz. You can do it too. See you guys later. Bye-bye.